Andy Kurniawan has a small shop in Jakarta, Indonesia, which sells collectible action figures.
It began as a hobby. Because of the hobby, I opened the store.
But this year has been tough for Kurniawan's business. That's because a world away in Washington, the U.S. Federal Reserve has been steadily raising interest rates. And as a result, in October, the US dollar surged while Indonesia's rupiah fell to its lowest level since the 1998 Asian financial crisis. Suddenly, Kurniawan's cost of importing toys from Hong Kong and the US shot up and profit margins plunged. Reuters Fed correspondent Jonathan Spicer says when the Fed taps the brakes on the world's biggest economy, it can have an outsized reaction around the globe.
Really, as it's shifted away with interest rate hikes and with less bonds on its balance sheet, the effects around the world have been immediate and painful for people. We have seen currencies hit in emerging markets and elsewhere. We've seen stock markets fall. It's led to building projects being canceled, bankruptcies, job losses.
But now the Fed is gradually shedding hundreds of billions of dollars worth of assets it had snapped up over the last decade and hitting its stride with quarterly rate hikes. While that has not yet squeezed the U.S. economy, the reaction in financial markets has hit Argentina, already mired in a deep recession, fueled by a severe drought and high inflation. The peso has dropped about 50% against the dollar this year alone, leaving workers at this Argentine factory fretting about who the boss will fire to make up for higher costs of imported goods used to assemble light switches.
What we did was reduce all our expenses as much as possible, to the point that we suspended all the extra shifts that were occurring, and we turned off all the lights that weren't being used.
Some analysts worry about America's massive influence on global financial markets.
This doesn't rub everyone the right way, of course, that a central bank that's not elected in a country on the other side of the planet could have so much influence on their currencies, on their stock markets.
The Fed is expected to lift rates by another quarter percentage point on December 19th, which means around the world, governments, businesses, and people like Kurniawan may need to prepare for yet more fallout. And now, with round-the-clock updates from Reuters journalists, here are today's top stories.